Hey, gorgeous humans. So I want to speak a little bit about passion and joy and excitement. And I want to speak about these because these are things that I have women consistently coming to me with. I have women consistently messaging me about, and it's the very, very thing that I hear from so many people and that I see. And where I see this lies a lot is in sexuality. And what I see come up is I hear women who have lost passion to have sex with their partner, maybe who know that their partner wants to have sex with them, but they just don't have the passion, but they're forcing themselves to do it anyway. They've lost passion for their life. They've lost passion in their career. There's no joy. They're lacking excitement. There's no desire. They've lost that that urge to really want to dive in and feel that excitement and that joy and that full body pleasure and passion. And a lot of the times this shows up in sexuality, but it also shows up in every area of our life, especially mums who have children. They don't have any passion at all, especially to have sex, to even instigate sex, to even instigate going out and doing something different. And this plays out in all areas of our life, right? We get home from work, we're so exhausted, all we want to do is just sit down, but then we have to go feed the kids, or we have to, we're at work for those of us who work consistently, and then we get home and we're exhausted, and come the weekends, we just don't want to actually do anything at all. So there's a lack of passion there. And what I want to say around this is, we are taught that in order for us, we're taught that we should have passion consistently, right? We're taught that it should be on tap. It should literally be the very, very thing that we can just tap into, just click our fingers and switch it on, right? But what I want to say to you is that it doesn't actually work like that. Hey, gorgeous. It doesn't actually work like that at all, because what we're not taught is there is a natural cycle in our body and in life. And this natural cycle also replicates, and we can see in nature, right? We've got the seasons. We've got that cycle of going from summer into autumn, into winter, into spring, then back into summer. It's this natural cycle, and this is very, very much the same within the body, but we are just not taught this. And so the very element, so this comes from the Chinese medicine, right? There's an element, 5-element theory, right? And this is the creation cycle of life. And guys, if this is resonating, if you're watching this, I'd love for you to drop any comments below and share with me where this fits for you in your life, if it does. What happens is that passion is actually represented as summer. And so because we're taught that we consistently should be in this state of summer and this state of fire and this state of passion, what we're actually saying to ourselves is we just want to be in summer all the time. But in reality, if we look at it in the world, if we're in summer all the time, we're in like a space of potential burnout. And this is what happens. So one of the things, when we get to actually cultivate and come back into ourselves, when we get to really understand what cycle we're in and actually create a healthy relationship with that element within us, it's actually the fire element within our body, that summer, with that healthy summer, what happens is we're able to come from a space that this energy becomes grounded. And so when we feel this joy, when we feel this excitement, it doesn't have this ability to fly up into the air and burn out. And this is what I see a lot of us doing. And this is actually what I see is happening in the world that is shifting. This paradigm of desiring to consistently be in summer all the time, and therefore if we're in summer all the time, if we're consistently excited, consistently enjoy, consistently like we have to be these things, right? We should be these things. Well, of course we're going to burn out. Of course, right? Because we're not actually coming back down. We're not grounding that energy. We're not coming back in to all those other seasons that are there, all those other seasons, because that passion and that joy, there is a peak within that. Then once we hit that peak, it has to naturally come back down. But if we're holding on to that, then it's literally going to burn itself out. We are going to fall into a space of resistance with every other natural cycle that's trying to happen after that, which then creates a sense of suffering. The other thing with this element that I want to say to you is, this is the element of the heart. Like, this is the element of the heart, and this is literally the space. There's actually a beautiful quote by Zhenzan Dao, which is the founder of the Moga Dao sacred Taoist sexuality tradition. And she says, I've written it in the comments, but basically it's like, if you're not risking on a daily basis, then your heart is dying. And what this means is that there is an element of risk that is needed to create this healthy passion and fire within our life. And I'm not talking about the risk that is unsafe, the risk that can hurt us physically. I'm talking about the risk that literally shatters the identities of ourselves, shatters the stories and the beliefs that we've been told growing up, to open us up, to literally being able to feel the life running through us. Because up until this point, we have shut down our hearts, right? At some stage, we've exposed our hearts and it's not been received. So we've shut down and we're in protection mode. And that's how I see a lot of us are living, from this space of total protection. And I get it. I totally get it. I get it. But what that is doing is, it's not only protecting you from feeling hurt, but it's protecting you from feeling life and from feeling alive as well. And passion and love and joy and all of these things that come with that. And so what this is inviting us into, and a way that we can help ourselves come more alive within this, is risking, is diving into an element of risk. And for some, this might even just look like a Facebook Live, right? I'm not talking going out and extravagantly risking your life. That's not what I'm talking about at all. What I'm talking about is this risk of dropping into your heart and what it desires and moving from that place, right? Moving from that place of, and what it can look like in a relationship is communicating to our partner our desires, communicating what is actually on our heart, communicating a no when in the past we've always said yes, communicating what we literally are feeling, having the courage to risk and open ourselves up and share that vulnerability that's within. But that sharing and that vulnerability is actually the strength that invigorates our whole being. And for some of us, and where I see this shows up is in sex and in life. In sex, in our partnership, in our loving, in our relating, and also in our creating, in what makes us come alive in life. And this could even be, maybe this is even recording yourself singing and then sharing that with someone that you know, because that feels really vulnerable and risky. But holy shit, does it make me feel good. Like, this is literally the risks that I'm talking about taking. These are the risks. So my invitation to you is to sit down and write a list of all of the risks that you could be taking. And some might look big and perfect, but that's not the goal. The goal here is just to actually write a list of these things and then begin to action some of them. And watch yourself come alive as you do this. Watch your whole body feel really scary, because that's the other thing that's going to come with it, is the fear, and it's going to feel scary. It's going to feel, there is also the other emotions sitting in this element are self-doubt and self-confidence and self-worth. All of this stuff is going to come on board. And know that it's okay. It's okay. Because the more alive you can become, the more risking in that space of what your heart actually truly wants, below those walls, below those walls of protection, that energetic wall, the more life your body is going to have. And the more life your body has, the more it increases your immune system, the more sex you want to have, the more passion you have in your life, the stronger you will feel, the more happier you will feel, the more alive you are. Literally, this is what helps to create our energy running through our body. Like, it literally is almost like a hit of drugs to our veins. I'm going to put it in that context. And obviously, you know, it's like you've just injected life into your body. And with it comes the scariness, but also with it comes life, because we are breaking down those old identities that are sitting there. So see how you go with writing the list, and I invite you to do it. And if you'd like to share it with me, I really would love to hear how you go. If you have any questions around this, please feel free to message me or drop them in the comments below. This is something that I see is changing right now. We have been living not from our hearts. The whole of the world has not been living. That's a very generalized statement, but there is a lot that we have not been living from our hearts, because it feels really vulnerable. And we get to start living from our hearts. I love you guys. I'm so grateful you're here. I'll talk to you all soon.